It's technically not even a game, it's the concept for a game that never got released, whose ideas got folded over into the next mainline Final Fantasy XV, a game that was supposed to have a second season passive content. But due to some, let's just say, unfortunate circumstances, this never happened. And this second season passive content was unfortunately reduced into a novel titled Final Fantasy XV Dawn of the Future, which has been available in Japanese for quite some time now, but just recently was made available in English. And I've thought about getting this book, but considering I've already read translations for how it all ends, my interest in actually getting my hands on the book has been pretty low. However, there is something of interest that I want to bring from you that is in this book, and I feel like it's something that is really going to fascinate you guys because honestly, it fascinated me quite a great deal. In Final Fantasy XV, Noctis goes through a 10-year sleep inside of the crystal. While he was inside of the crystal, people have wanted to know what happened for so long, and the game gives you pretty much no idea what Noctis's experiences were like in that 10 years. Well, apparently episode Noctis was going to address this. Apparently, Noctis was dreaming about Final Fantasy Versus XIII inside of the crystal. Yes, I'm serious. Basically, from within the crystal, Noctis is able to see all the alternate timelines and possibilities, which is a lot like how Lightning was able to see all the possibilities from Valhalla in Final Fantasy XIII too. And the possibility that Noctis was going to observe when this DLC opened was that of the Insomnia invasion. Yup, the same one that was removed from the final game in favor of the movie Kingsglaive, with Noctis no longer playing a direct role in the Insomnia invasion. And in this cancelled DLC, it was basically going to be a playable version of the first Versus XIII trailer. I want to thank Twitter user @SpookyGoo for uploading this excerpt, with the book saying, quote, "Myriad shadows writhed in the chill night air of the Citadel courtyard. Enemies were everywhere, but the certain knowledge that he would have to fight the hordes every step of the way elicited neither surprise nor confusion, nor even the slightest trace of fear. Step by step, he descended the great staircase. Gunfire erupted waves of bullets, flying from enemy barrels like swarms of angry insects. He wove his way between them, blade flashing into hand as other opponents began to rush to the stairs. Each class was over as quickly as it began, one then another and then another. Steel-shrieked and ash-colored automatons went rolling lifelessly down steps they had just ascended. But something was amiss. A persons who should have been there with him was not. Did I always fight alone? They even note here that the Magitech troops that Noctis is fighting is more like the ones from Versus XIII rather than the Magitech that we had seen in Final Fantasy XV's mainline, with the book continuing by saying, quote, "These things I'm fighting, what are they?" Their armor was fashioned from some kind of lustrous dark metal. As he continued to cut his way through the endless ranks of empty, soulless suits, it occurred to him that they neither shared hue nor design with the Magitech troops he'd come to know in some distant past. A black haze, much like a demonic miasma, emanated from their surfaces, an eerie aura like that of some ghostly apparition. Before the Chosen unfurls one possibility. To mortal minds, a dream. Though man would choose, he has but one way forward. Ordained above is mortal fate. To the crystal, all possibility is memory, and all memory is etched within. The episode in the courtyard felt half known to him and half strange. A possibility. A dream. If Noctis were entangled in a dream, that would account for the way the places and events had felt familiar and yet off. It would explain the mysterious absence of his companions. Behold the heart of the crystal, wherein lies the soul of the star. It is in this place the king will gain the power he needs. Receive the memories inscribed in the crystal, that the true king's calling may be fulfilled. Essentially, all possibilities and all timelines exist within inside the crystal's memory. And in episode Noctis, if it would have released as a DLC, would have had you playing through that first Final Fantasy Versus XIII trailer like we've been wanting to do for well over a decade. Doesn't help that they canceled the level editor and scripting tools, so fans can't even make that happen themselves. This is honestly depressing. I remember when I used to imagine finally playing Final Fantasy Versus XIII or even 15 before they said that this scene was going to be removed, and the thing that I would always think to be awesome was going to be the Insomnia invasion, and fighting off that horde of troops as Prince Noctis. Now, this all being said, the way Verum Rex is going, I still might get something to that effect eventually, but for now it just makes me really sad that something that I've wanted for so long, for basically the second time, has been cancelled. But with all of that said, Ultima, I want to hear from you. Is this a part of Final Fantasy Versus and 15 lore that you've always wanted to play through, or are you still perfectly content with the Final Fantasy 15 that we got? Subscribe, click the bell icon, and let me know in the comments below. And if you value the videos on this channel, be sure to check out the Patreon for the Night Sky Prince, where thanks to people like Silent Faith, I'm able to keep all of these videos coming to you. So if that means a lot to you, be sure to check the link in the description below. Shout out to Silent Faith and the rest of the Ultima community.